there's been growing support for process methodologies like Lean and Agile, and to cut waste. What are your views on instigating those process methodologies?
Yeah, my views on Lean, Agile and other sort of methodologies are similar to my views around project management methodologies. Methodologies are all very well and good, but if you've not got a clear perspective or a clear target on where you want to achieve, it's a process. At the end of the day, I see some advantages around some of those processes, and quite often what I do is take bits from a number to work in a given scenario. One of our challenges, of course, is local government and public sector generally is a very complex political environment, and quite a lot of these methodologies are built out of commercial environments where, quite frankly, the decisions are simpler and much more commercially driven. So yes, they have their place, but to me they're not the be-all and end-all. I think they are just part of a process to get you to where you need to go.
I think to use lean methodologies, to use agile methodologies effectively, it needs an awful lot of rigour. And I've seen in past organisations that I've worked with that lean and agile has actually just been a byword for lack of process. I've seen things like Scrum work very well, and actually to get that up and going and to get people thinking in new ways of delivery, it takes a lot more effort to be able to implement that change at a business process level effectively for the IT group, to be able to get people into that new way of thinking. I've way too often though seen Agile just as an excuse for no process.
So in the wake of the Toyota recalls, do you think that Lean, the concept of Lean still holds water, still has credibility?
Yes, I think IT though increasingly now is very different from manufacturing, and that one of the challenges the IT industry's got going forward in the Web 2.0 world is that our traditional methods have been around engineering practice, and now we're entering into a world where actually the services we're providing are about collaboration and team working, and that is a whole different ball game from implementing Six Sigma on a manufacturing process, and it just doesn't work.
I know there's been some poor discreditation recently with some of these projects, but it's the way forward. I mean, we've got to get out of this loop that some organisations still have, where you tell us what to build, we go away and build it, and we deliver it 2 years later, and it might or might not be appropriate. Businesses are moving more and more quickly. That just will not work. We are, in our organisation, moving to essentially an only lean or agile approach. And of course that leads you into the whole world of cloud computing and pre-built applications and so on, and changing your business around what's there rather than trying to develop something which fits your current processes.
Well, we're a keen implementer of lean thinking in our organisation, and I can go as far to say as we've got a UB lean way and a set of thinking around that, so it's quite deep in our organisation. Agile is a more developing set of thinking, but we're doing both. We've been big researchers and followers of the Toyota way and understanding how Toyota work, and are not dissuaded by some of the challenges that Toyota have faced in the last 18 months, because we think Toyota stopped being Toyota, and we think that's where they ended up in the position they did, and we think it's going to be a tremendous business value adder, using lean thinking to go and find all those bits of business value we want to hunt out.
I think they've been muddied by people associating the methodology with what happened to Toyota. Toyota failed their own methodology. With methodologies like Agile, one of the concepts is you test everything before you ship it out. Toyota failed that fundamental aspect of their own methodology, and they're very open about saying that. And I think when you're talking about Lean and Agile, the mistake that people make is it's another methodology. It isn't. It's another way of thinking. The way of thinking in IT now is evolving into value. How can we deliver the biggest value to our clients, internal, external, first, and getting away from, oh, we must hit this milestone, we must hit this budget, but we're not really delivering value, even if we do. So, and that's why we find it difficult to find strong talent, because the mindset is 180 degrees changed when you're talking about Agile.
We're very bought in to Lean and Agile. I tend to see Agile as something of the IT manifestation of Lean. The reason we like Lean, and we're still believers, even though the Toyota experience, is it's very, very involving. And this is about process change. So we do a lot of work with the business on how they can improve their processes, the way they work. And the great thing about that in our environment is it actually asks people to say how they would improve the things they do. And it's very empowering. And it's very hard to do right, so we love that. Agile, we've now got about 15 Agile streams running in our development areas on BA.com, the British Airways Exec Club, and areas like testing as well. I'm just amazed when I go and meet the people on the Agile teams, and almost to the extent I think they've been sort of primed, but they haven't. The enthusiasm you get. Almost invariably, people have been working in Agile because it is so interactive. Don't ever want to go back to waterfall. They say, Paul, please don't ever put me back on a waterfall project because I'm involved with the business. And it goes back to the key point, which is why do you work in IT in British Airways? You want to do IT for an airline and you want to be part of the airline. You want to make a difference. You want to actually see your changes going live on BA.com. And what does Agile do? It gets ideas live very, very fast. And that can be very satisfying.